Good evening. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Tonight I've got the live Miami underwater. Look at that happy little fella swimming at us. The live Miami underwater cam on right now, and pretty active. The coral, I guess they have a few different views of this. In the morning they have a different view than they do in the afternoon for the most part. But take a look at this. A lot of really cool tropical fish down there. And it's live to boot. Very calming in the mornings. My regular cam that's at Lauderdale, not Lauderdale by the Sea, but Deerfield Beach is down for now. And I like the fish cams. I guess a lot of my viewers like them as well. Well, what is my quote for the day? And while I'm doing the quote for the day here, I'm going to do a little coin spin. I still got that same 1935 peace dollar here, and we're going to spin that and see what the coin says for tomorrow. Of course, markets are in the aftermarket down right now. The aftermarket's down, but this coin says a bull. As far as heads or tails go, I'm calling heads a bull. Of course, I'm an optimist, so heads are bulls to me. The most dangerous man to any government is a man who is able to think things out for himself without regards to the prevailing superstitions and taboos. Almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that the government he lives under is dishonest, insane, and intolerable. And so, if he's romantic, he tries to change it. And even if he's not romantic personally, he is very apt to spread discontent amongst those who are. This is by H.L. Mencken, I believe it is. Don't know anything about his writings, and apparently this is the book A. Mencken Chrestomathy. Anyway, any of you familiar with that, feel free to say something in the comment section. But I like this, and this is really true. The most dangerous man to any evil, bad people, any people that are doing wrong, are really people who think for themselves. They think things out for themselves, like you. That's exactly why you're buying precious metals, gold and silver, is because you've kind of thought things through. You take a look at the fiat currency that we use today, which is in a ever-dwindling spiral downward. Why? Because no fiat currency in history, the United States currency, the United States dollar is the longest surviving fiat currency in history right now that hasn't been complete. Well, devalued is a bad word to use, but devalued as far as adding extra zeros. It has been devalued since the Fed took over and we've gone off the gold standard more or less. Well, when we get off the gold standard, that devaluation even accelerated further, and here we are today. But no less, the longest surviving fiat currency in history is the U.S. dollar. We currently are the experiment. And if you think for yourself, and I guess that's called a dangerous person. Dangerous people are people that think for themselves. But it is true. When it comes to evil people, and when it comes to people with bad intent, people looking to steal your money, people to make you work your whole life just to pay for their salaries, thinking for yourself is a dangerous thing, and that's kind of what we got going on. This is why you're seeing a big attack on the First Amendment nowadays, is they don't want people thinking for themselves. They don't want that message out there. They want to convey the message themselves. Orwell was right, definitely. George Orwell was absolutely correct when it comes to problems with the First Amendment. And the book 1984 pretty much nailed it, what we got going on today. The changing words, changing the definitions of things, changing the definition of a recession, changing the definition of sexes, changing the definition of what is good and what is bad. Really, if you control the language, you basically control the population just as much as you could with money, okay? But no less, let's move along here. No less, that's my new word. If you followed me out through the last couple of years, you'll see that I use specific words over and over. Man, I wish I was this like perfect guy on YouTube that had a perfect vernacular and perfect language and everything like this, but I don't. I do happen to repeat myself. So, anyways, almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that government he lives under is dishonest. I mean, I think that really is something that happens as you get older. Last night I went off on a little rant. It's mostly about wars. wars just sadden me. There's no reason for us to be killing each other, no matter how much we disagree with our neighbors. And really, most of the time, when it comes to wars, the only people that profit are the politicians, governments, and weapon makers, people that make weapons. They're the only ones that profit, and people that invest in those weapons, and bankers, I should say that as well, because bankers fund weapon makers. So, and nothing good comes to the, in the current environment, what we're seeing with Ukraine and Russia, nothing good comes to any of those soldiers, any of the people doing the real fighting, the real dying, whether they're Russian or Ukrainian. Nothing good comes to them. The only good is coming to the politicians that run these shit shows and that somehow profit from it, or too stupid to notice that wars aren't profitable for people. Maybe they are for weapons companies, maybe they are for agencies that purchase these weapons and get bigger offices because of that. But I mean, if you think about it, weapon agencies, who do they hire? They hire lieutenants, and not lieutenants, colonels. They hire retired colonels and generals to do their selling. All right, and these people are connected on the inside. So I mean, there's big money in weapons, folks. Don't you forget about that. And that's kind of what pissed me off last night, got me off on the rant about the war machine and about throwing more money at Ukraine, who, before this war, both blue and red parties would readily admit that they have one of the most corrupt governments out there, and that even the guy that's running it right now, Zelensky, is one of the most corrupt motherfuckers out there too. And that's just not my opinion. That's the opinions of a lot of people that look at this from a standpoint of logic, actually. But anyways, you come to the conclusion that government you live under is dishonest, insane, and intolerable. And I brought this up, like I said, because of last night's video on the rant that I went off on spending $50 billion, $100 billion, $200 billion, sending that kind of money and weapons to a corrupt government, and not thinking about spending, they spend billions of dollars on weapons, folks. This current administration, and it would maybe happen under the last administration. I don't know. I don't trust either party. No less, spending $50 billion, $100 billion, $200 billion, sending it to a government with more weapons, throwing more gasoline on that fire, creating more problems with the Russians. Again, this is going to be almost a repeat of last night, but this is why I ran this, because they are dishonest, they are insane, and they are intolerable. Our government has become that way. Wars are insane, dishonest, and intolerable. Who fights, who dies? It's the working people, it's the working class out there. That's who fights and dies. And who profits? It's the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower talked about so much. And really, who else profits? It's whatever party's in charge that started that war. In this case, I think it's the blue party that started this war. They started it a long time ago, actually, but and how are they profiting from this? I don't know. Look how Pelosi's profiting from computer chips. They're all crooked bastards out there, man. And again, I'm not just picking on one party. It just happens to be this particular party's in charge, and they're the biggest scumbags to me right now. I could say the same thing about the Reds too, and I will, or I have in the past. I don't trust either red nor blue. I don't trust. Neither should you. All right. If he's romantic, he tries to change it. And I've run for political office, folks. Here, let me reduce that here. I ran for political office a couple times, and I just don't know if I have the have it in me. I ran for the local town council office here, but after listening to town council meetings for years online and visiting a few, and then recently going back and listening to town council meetings, I got to admit I'd probably at least once a year as a town council person even strangle one of my fellow compatriots on the Diaz or one of my fellow commissioners. I'd probably have to strangle once a year, and maybe about a half a dozen of the people that come up and speak at these things, the same fucking busybodies. You really don't see many intelligent people coming to city council meetings, nor state, you just don't see it. All right, but anyways, let me move along from here. Woo, man, getting a little hot here. By the way, it's an evening report, obviously, not a coffee report. It's a wine report. And I'm going to take my first sip here and wet my whistle a little bit. And even if he's not romantic personally, he's very apt to spread discontent amongst those who are. Folks, I got to tell you, a lot of us say, I don't want to be involved in politics. I don't want to get involved in politics. I don't want to. You don't have to. You know what you need to do is spread discontent. If you can't run for office, you don't want to run for office. Not that you can. If you don't want to, whatever it is, spread discontent amongst those who are and those who will. All right, or not will, but support those who are going to spread discontent about the way things are, about the crookedness, the dishonestness, the insane and intolerable out there. Support those people for sure. Wow, I went long-winded tonight. Why did I do that? Well, take a look at markets. Sub 20, 1760 right now, and platinum sitting below 900. And exactly why is that? Well, the criminals giveth, and the criminals taketh away. And that's exactly what you have with gold and silver prices, because where are gold and silver prices? Where is the price of gold and silver determined? It's determined on the London markets, obviously, the London bullion markets at certain hours. It's determined on primarily, though, Globex and Comex CME group markets, the criminal Crimex markets. It's the prices are determined there. And guess what? The criminals gaveth, and they've taken away a little bit here. We're now sitting at the 1760. Is this a pullback a little bit to allow? This is just a temporary pullback. Sub $20 silver, sub 17. Let's take a look at where the highs were here. And 1788. Take a look at that. We were nearing that 1790, 1800 level. Backed it off by about. Gold not so bad. Where are we right now off the highs? Let's see here, 1760. Well, $21 or so. And silver off almost as much as, let's see, 2053. 2053. So a little over half a buck, which is not abnormal for silver. And you know what, folks? For you folks out there that were waiting to buy sub $20 silver and gold at a cheaper level, and platinum, and it's just kind of shot up there. I know some of you were disappointed out there. This has just provided many of you a great opportunity to buy at these lower prices. They're crooked prices. I'm telling you, the price discovery is crooked. The only reason you're seeing 1760 gold, sub $20 silver, and sub $900 platinum is because of these crooked bastards. It really is. That's the only reason. They create the prices. That's where price discovery is made in the Comex, criminal Crimex markets, Globex markets, and NYMEX markets, as well as the London markets as well. They're all criminals out there, folks. These casinos. However, we know this. God, it's like a freaking broken record talking about this shit. It really is. All I'm going to say is that each time they rig these prices lower, I'm telling you, it's a great opportunity to buy what? Not buy paper bullshit, not buy their bullshit contracts, not buy bullshit ETFs, buy the freaking physical stuff. And buy the lowest premium that you possibly can. And that does not mean silver eagles, which are way the frick overpriced, gold eagles, which are overpriced, and constitutional 90%, which last year I was recommending, a year and a half ago or so, I was recommending very highly that you convert your silver eagles into 90%. If you'd done that, you would have got the double whammy. You would have made a lot of fucking money. Excuse my language. But you know what? Not everybody listens to me, and I could have been wrong on this as well. Well, likely not. I do know my physical stuff, and I know when premiums are just stupid right now. And premiums are absolutely stupid in silver eagles. Premiums are absolutely stupid in 90%. So there you go. What a lovely evening, by the way. I got to tell you, 90 degrees. 90 degrees here. It's almost, 6:30 right now. I'm going to take a look here. 7:05. Oh, my gosh. I'm late. I still haven't eaten yet either. I'm going to take another sip here. Give me 1 second. We're going to do a quick refresh. See what the markets are right now. And 1759. There you go. 1760, sub $20 silver. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens tomorrow when the Crimex markets open up. But it looks like they're hammering it in the aftermarkets right now, folks, which probably tells us they're going to hammer it in the evening markets as well. Again, if I had a crystal ball, I knew exactly how these criminals' minds operated. Well, I know how they operate. They drive it down, they drive it up. They're kind of, they got the money to put it wherever the hell they want it. All right, let's move into the charts here to see when the monkey hammering occurred. Of course, you know what? I'm just sick of the fucking charts. You know, the criminals giveth the other day, take a look at that in this current week, and the upside, especially during the New York Crimex markets, but the overnight markets, Globex markets, and Sunday the same thing, and the aftermarkets as well. And they taketh away like they have done today. Take a look at this, the 1788 range down to the current 1760 range that we are right now. And again, where New York Globex, New York Crimex markets is where these markets are being taken down. We know exactly how and where and who the players are in this. And what you don't know exactly when they're going to take it down. It's hard to, you know it's going to happen. You can't peg it to specific times. But, you know, when it does happen, folks, just buy the dips. Buy the frickin' dips. You know, I've said that many times. And I don't think you're ever going to go wrong buying the dips in precious metals. At least you're not going to wake up and ever see that gold and silver went bankrupt and it's worth zero. You could see that in any parts of your life right now, including with the currency that we hold in our pockets. Let's get out of the charts here. Silver, you can see, was monkey hammer. Look, you can almost lay these charts over each other. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Gold and silver, right? There you go. In the criminal markets that... Dow Jones down, S&P down, NASDAQ down, gold and silver down a little bit as well. Almost 1%, not as bad as the Dow Jones, and Bitcoin as well. Everything across the board down, except for the U.S. dollar. Let me take a look and see what the U.S. dollar is. Give me 1 second here. DXY, let's see what we come up with there. Dollar index spot. Blue, see what the DX. I'm just kind of curious what the dollar index, up or down. What do you think? And come on, man. How come you? Oh, 106.34 right there. So it's up a little bit, actually. The dollar index is up a little bit. That might explain just everything across the board being down. Don't want to get into that. Sorry about that, clearing my voice all the time here. Some interesting stuff here. In Zero Hedge, VBL points this out pretty clearly that the Department of Justice says JPM execs manipulated the price of gold. Folks, this trial that's going on in Chicago right now, hopefully, and very well may go beyond just these three traders. This may go on to having JPM have more charges come up. Maybe this is might even see the CEOs having some trouble. Well, likely not. Again, like I said, too big to jail, too big to fail. The spoofing game goes upstream. Wow. The following meeting includes potentially sensitive content. Ooh, interesting. What does that mean? All right, you want to watch it with me? Okay, we will. We got time. Let's see how long VBL. And again, I like watching this guy's video. I have to agree with him on a lot of stuff. And
so you got the trader, that's at our level, and you got the supervisor who's telling the trader, oh, your position's too big, then do this and you'll get away with it. So you're starting to see an upstream blame game going on, which eventually goes all the way to Jamie Dimon, right? And the reason it goes all the way to him is not because he knew what was going on, it's because he and all these other executives at Bullion Banks foster a culture of unethical behavior in order to make money.
He absolutely nails it. This gentleman pretty much nails it all the time. Love the little smoking cigarette right here. I imagine that's him, because that was me about that age smoking cigarettes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but probably true. But let's listen to the rest of this. I think he nails it right there, what he talks about. And actually, there's only 1 second here. Hang on.
Right.
All right, I'm going to replay that. Oh, hang on. Let's quickly replay that. Oh, gosh, it tells you how technically inept I am. Why won't that replay? But no less, you got an idea. VBL puts this up here on Bombshell DOG says JPM execs manipulated gold. I am hoping this goes even further than just JPM. I hope this goes all the way to the CME group, COMEX. You know, and again, I've always equated CME group, NYMEX, Globex markets, the London bullion markets as well, as being like the casino. These are the people that provide the casino. They provide the ability for all the gamblers, the short side, the long sides, to come in and play this game. I hope it goes all the way to the CME Group. I tell you why, because they're complicit in this. They've made a fortune of blindly sitting by, including the LBMA, and you know this has happened with the the LME, the London Metals. All right, when they had that nickel short position, they've allowed this stuff to happen. They've allowed these huge players to come in and manipulate these markets. Why has the CME Group, COMEX, LMBA, and all they've allowed this stuff? Because they make a huge money off these trades. It's like they make a vig. They make a vig off these huge trades, and that's why they've allowed it. And I tell you what, if JPM goes down, if these big traders go down, if I call him Demon, Diamond goes down, maybe the CME Group will go down with them, but probably not. As I've always said, too big to fail, too big to jail. But really good article by VBL here. And we're going to talk about this as well. Another gold fund for the politically correct, gata.org, I think comes right out and says that Sprott has become like the other ETFs out there, by saying shares are not individually redeemable, investors buy and sell. But anyways, Sprott launches, hang on a second, first Toronto, anyways. Let me back up on that, because I read that real quickly and I didn't read the entire thing, and let me not throw Sprott under the bus. But you know what? I'm not a big fan of any ETFs, even Sprott, who I trust more than the SLV version of the ETF. But no less. All right, let me get out of here real quick before I stick my foot in my mouth. I got through most of this video without doing too much of that. What's the best deal out there, folks? The best deal is still gold bars. And even I think those are kind of getting a little on the short side. There seems to be a huge burst of buying out there in gold and silver products. And as you know, Gold Eagles are just like crazy premiums right now. They're at $1.60 over thereabouts, give or take a couple bucks. Again, if you're buying quantity, you can get them for cheaper, obviously, but not a lot cheaper. And same thing with silver. 1 ounce and 10 ounce bars are getting a little more difficult to find. I see that JM Bullion, who we advertise to beat, as well as APMEX and SD Bullion, has 1 ounce, and I didn't look at 10 ounces, but has 1 ounces. They're almost like spot plus $6. So that tells me that there's a shortage out there, generic ones. We've been seeing it anyway, because there's been delays by the generic companies to produce 1s and 10s. Premium's gone up substantially. Kilos are still readily available by me. Again, as I said, I'll beat APMEX, JM, SD Bullion, all the local guys down here on selling gold and silver and precious metals. And if you're looking for larger quantities, don't hesitate to contact Concierge Bullion Services. If you're looking to buy, over 2,500 ounces of silver, that's not a large quantity, and 100 ounces of gold, Concierge Bullion Services is the company that we have here that you can call. And we do ship on that. We do wires and that kind of thing. We do phone business with Concierge Bullion Services. As far as commercial rare coins and precious metals, our brick and mortar store, if you live anywhere in South Florida, we're the place to go to. We do, again, face-to-face transactions, brick and mortar sales. We're looking at a way to ship smaller orders and smaller deals to different customers. So stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, if you can't come into my store here and buy less than 100 ounces of gold and less than 2,500 ounces of silver, definitely please find yourself a good local dealer, as opposed to sending that stuff out of your local community. By ordering online. Nothing wrong with the APMEX, SD Bullion, and JM. I advertise to beat them. Hopefully your local guys does too. But at some point, I would like to sell online to people that are buying smaller quantities than what Concierge Bullion Services does sell. All right. I'm going to try to answer some questions tonight. There is quite a few here. Oh my gosh, 98 comments. I can't answer them all. Otherwise, I'd be here all. The bigger these videos become, the more, and I'm kind of rolling down here and seeing a lot of people like my video last night. They like my little rant here. Do you fry or grill manatees? Well, they don't. Gary says we don't have them up north. Personally, yeah, we fry them down here. Sorry, deep fry. Of course, this is South, man. We deep fry everything down here, including our manatee. But that's an old joke. Manatees are, I'm not even sure. There's an old rumor that manatees were brought here to South Florida so that the railroad workers because manatees are not a natural species of Florida. I believe that they were brought here at some time. If you do, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm just repeating something I heard from someone, an old Florida cracker, who told me this. But manatees were supposedly not an invasive species that were brought here a long time ago to feed the railroad workers. And I think I just kind of spewed something that's total bullshit here. I've got to look that up. But we do fry our manatee down here, Gary, that's for sure. I can't afford to buy kilo bars unless I save for a couple months. I buy smaller amounts per week. Save for kilo. Do you have recommendations of small weight purchases? Man, small weight purchases are getting tougher and tougher to buy at cheaper premiums. I don't know what to tell you. Check with your local dealer and see what the best deal that he has. And I do like, ones and tens if you can buy them. But it looks like the 1 ounces are like going for like, $4.50, $5, up to $6 over spot. That's as bad as 90% right now. I'd almost recommend buying 90% before I'd buy 1 ounces for $5 and $6 over, but not quite there yet. If they get higher, then yeah, 90% might be a better deal. And Carolyn thanks me for talking about corruption. So does Jeff. I went on a real rant, folks, last night, folks, and a lot of you brought up the comment you liked my rant. So if you didn't watch last night's video, make sure you check out my last night's rant. War only benefits the rich and big corporations, while our sons and daughters are used as cannon fodder, and our citizens are put at the back of the queue. You notice my voice is slowing down here because it makes me sad. It's really true. And greetings to you from Australia as well, Wallace. A lot of, again, people thank me for my rant last night. I speak from the heart, and I come from a working class blue collar family. I know I'm dealing in precious metals and gold and silver, all this stuff, but I really truly come from a family of cooks, carpenters, and entrepreneurs on my father's side. So my father's family owned a Polish deli in Massachusetts. And my mother's side was mostly carpenters and cooks, quite literally. So I grew up in the blue-collar working environment, and my father had the opportunity. He owns a coin shop, and I talked about my father in the past, but my father had the opportunity to he was up in Massachusetts, go work for the local General Electric, like his father did at the time, or pursue his passion, which was rare coins and precious metals, which ultimately he ended up doing back in the early 70s when my father got in this business full time. But that's a story for another time. Thanks for commenting. Silver Liners going on strike. Not leaving a real comment because I didn't read. Silver Liner. I think that if I didn't read comments for a couple days, you wouldn't mind it, but no less. Nice to see you commenting there. I like your ranting. That's how we all feel. Folks, there's 98 comments here. There's no way I'm going to get to them all. I recognize a lot of you, Pride 777. Yeah, they've been robbing us and enriching themselves for decades, 20 years, wars, crumbling morals, dumbed down textbooks. Oh, gosh, you're going to get me going again. Rasputin, great name. Deep breath. Okay, ready, I'm going to do a deep and a sip. Hang on a second here. We're all mad, Charles Taylor. Actually, mad in the mind and mad in many different reasons. You have a good reason to be. Hello, Helen, what's up? Michael, ain't it grand as well? Hey, that's it. I'm going to end it tonight, folks. Got to check on my chicken. It's on the grill and it's probably burned by now. But think for yourself, question authority. And as I said, you can't think for yourself and you can't question authority until you question what it is you believe the truth is, what your narrative is. And I really mean this. Think about what you believe. Where did it come from? Did it come from someone else? Did you ever fact check yourself? Did you ever fact check what you believe? And really, I believe that we're all smart enough to do that. And sometimes when you fact check yourself, you find out that what you thought you've known for many years, decades even, is not necessarily true. So always question what you think you know first. Question where you got it from. Question that narrative. Question that opinion. And once you've done that, you become really good at questioning others. And that's where this saying is, think for yourself, question authority. Thanks for watching, folks. This is Brian Kuzma with Concierge Bullion Services. in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea, and commercial rare coins and precious metals. As I said, if you're if you're buying more than 100 ounces of gold and 2,500 ounces of silver, please call us here at Concierge Bullion Services. We do ship out of state, and we do business on the phone. So feel free to call us at this number right here. It's on our Concierge Bullion website. And if you live in South Florida and looking for gold, silver coins, platinum coins, or anything like that, we have a brick and mortar, which is right here. Will be any of the locals down here, including the online guys, AppMex, SD, and JM Bullion. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but there's nothing wrong with the brick and mortars out there advertising to beat the big guys as well, and that's what we do. Hey, thanks for watching. Have yourself a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night now.